Is this thing still on? What is up, guys? It's me, Chief here. Welcome back to my first video in 2 weeks. Oh man, life gets in the way of everything. But anyway, what I'm going to be doing here today is the pizza tag, which was created by Josh over at the Literary Gladiators, which I'll link down below. And before I get into the video, I just want to give a big thank you to Erica over at the Perks of Books. She recently gave me a shout out and helped me gain 350 subscribers, or not gain all 350, like gain to get me to the 350 milestone. So thank you so much for that. I cannot thank you enough for the support you've been giving me. But anyway, I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's get into the pizza tag. Whoa. Alright, so I wrote down all the questions on this little pad right here, and if you don't know how Josh's foodie book tags work, they pretty much go like this. They mention like a food, like this one's pizza, and there's different categories of pizza, like cheese, pepperoni, mushroom, blah blah blah, and yes, there's definitely a pizza called blah blah blah, and there's like certain questions, like for the first, I'm gonna do the first one, you'll get the gist of it when I do it, but the first question is, cheese pizza, a simple work that possesses much more depth to it. Now, this is a book that, I was not expecting to love, but I end up really enjoying it. Like, really enjoying it. And that is Your Heart is the Muscle the Size of a Fist by Sunil Yapa. This book is about, like, extremists on both liberal and conservative standpoints in the form of, like, protests and the police versus, like, protesters in Seattle who are trying to shut down the city. And what I loved most about this book was just how raw it was. Like, it wasn't, like, the energy that it had wasn't contained. Wasn't contained. It was just so forceful, so much, that it just felt raw. That's the only word I can describe it as. It's just raw energy put into a novel. And the characters are very good. I really enjoyed the story and Yappa's writing. It was just really fun. But the reason why I chose this one is that, in essence, it is just protesters against the police. But with this modern society, there's just so much meaning to it. And I honestly think even though it was written a couple years ago, I think, it wasn't too long. It was like 2013 or something like that. But it just is more relevant now than it was when it was first published, and it's just phenomenal, I think. I think it's just phenomenal, and I cannot recommend it enough. Alright, question number 2, Pepperoni. A well-known, continuously popular work. Now, this is an easy one for me because I just finished this series, or just trilogy, and I absolutely adored it. Because, well, I didn't love the last book, but it was still good. And whatever, I'm digressing. It's the Millennium Trilogy by Steve Larson. I'm holding up The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo because I don't want to hold up all 3 books. But this whole series surrounds mainly two people, Michael Blomkvist and Lisbeth Salander. And there's like these different cases that they solve, and there's different scenarios that they go throughout the entire series. This series starts out with a simple premise, but then each book is kind of like its own thing that kind of links with each other. But it's like it's perfect for a series, and I know why exactly it got popular. Mainly because it's a murder mystery that does something original, but at the same time, there's so many subplots going along with it, and there's just so many layers to the series that comparing this brilliant series to something like James Patterson, who I think is one of the, like, I hate James Patterson, I'm just gonna be perfectly honest. There's just much more to this series than what I consider, like, the cozy mysteries. And The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, The Girl Who Played with Fire, that is one of my favorite thrillers of all time. I absolutely adore that book. And The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo was just as good. The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest was good, don't get me wrong. In story essence, it's good. I just thought it had its major pacing issues. I thought a lot of it could have been cut out. But still, I love this series. I cannot recommend it enough, and that's why I chose it for my pepperoni choice, because it's extremely popular, and for good reasons. It's awesome. Number 3, Mushroom, a textbook you found engaging. None, I don't read textbooks. Next. Number 4, Sausage, a literary work that just is the right dose of a particular genre. The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Before I get into explaining why I chose this book for the number 1, this and Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut I'm going to be rereading in March for my hunt for my new favorite book, and this is definitely the one I'm most excited to read. Like, this just sounds so phenomenal. Like, I remember but when I first read it, I just thought it was good. But now I love Donna Tartt, and I'm definitely going to reread this the first day of March, and I cannot wait, because people say it's even better on your second read, and I don't feel like I was in the mood for it when I first read it, so hopefully, if it becomes my favorite book of all time, don't be too shocked. But enough about me praising this book. The reason why I chose this for my sausage book tag is because this is technically a murder mystery story, but it just has the right dash of it. Has anybody seen that, like, guy that just, like, sprinkles the salt? I think that guy's name is, like, Salt Bay or something. I don't know. I'm digressing. But Donna Tartt is she is my personal favorite living American author. Yes, even more than Stephen frickin' King. That's how much I love her. And for good reasons. The Secret History is just so phenomenal. I love this book. And it's just the perfect dose of the murder mystery. It's not a whodunit, it's a whydunit. That's literally how she phrases it in, like, many interviews, and it's just brilliant. I love this book, and I just love Donna Tartt in general, with The Little Friend and The Goldfinch as well, which is also one of my personal favorites. But this one's easily my favorite one of hers. It's just amazing. It's The Secret History. Why wouldn't it be amazing? Number 5, Extra Cheese. Yum. A work that is longer than it needed to be. Wait, I skipped one. Did I? Oh, no, I just put 2 in the wrong order. Okay, Extra Cheese, a work that was longer than it needed to be. Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. What? This is in the text is tiny! It's 1,100 pages and the text is tiny. Literally, there's a 100-page monologue. And don't get me wrong, I love this book. It's one of my favorites of last year, but it was good. When it was good, it was a masterpiece, but my goodness, it didn't have to be this long. Ayn Rand, what are you doing? But anyway, I still love this book. I think it's fantastic, but it easily could have been cut down to at least under 800. At the very least. Like, if you're still wanting the longest book possible, 800 pages. That's the longest I can see this book being. But 1,100, this book could have easily been cut down, and it's just, I don't know. I think I do prefer The Fountainhead. Yeah, I think I do prefer The Fountainhead. But still, I love Ayn Rand's work. I think she's a fantastic writer. I just don't think she's the greatest philosopher. But she does have her points with her philosophy, so yeah. It doesn't have to be this long, but I still love it. Number 6, Garden. Favorite literary vegetarian, writer or character. So I've chosen a writer, and that is Jonathan Safran Foer. I have Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, but Jonathan Safran Foer is who I'm going to be talking about. Because Jonathan Safran Foer is all vegetarian. He's completely a vegetarian, and he wrote a whole book about him and his experiences with eating animals called Eating Animals. And it was probably my least favorite book from him, but it was still good because of Jonathan Safran Foer. But Jonathan Safran Foer, I really have nothing else to say. I really know more of his work than about the man himself. So, yeah, Jonathan Safran Foer. He's a vegetarian, so I know that much. Number 7, Grandma. But why do I keep making random noises? Am I trying so desperately to be funny? I don't know. But Grandma, a work that makes you think of your grandparents. And this one is The Red Badge of Courage by Stephen Crane. This is one of my grandfather's favorite books as a child, and he keeps talking about it to me, and we connect over it. It's a fantastic book. If you haven't read it, go read it. This one has terrible ratings on Goodreads, which is the reason why I don't trust Goodreads ratings whatsoever. but it's really tiny. I cannot recommend this enough. It's a great book. I read it. I think I read it a year ago already. Whew, how time flies. Number 8, a work with a tropical atmosphere. Lord of the Flies by William Golding. A really grim version of a tropical atmosphere, but you know, they're on an island. Do I even need to say anything else? It's Lord of the Flies. It's one of the most famous books ever, but you know, Lord of the Flies, I love it. It's fantastic, so yeah. The computer keeps going dim on me. I don't know why. Because technology, that's why. But, number 9, Anchovy. A work that you and most people dislike. A what? It's a work that I dislike as well? What? No! I thought it was one of those, like, ones that you like, but others dislike. I didn't know I had to do, like, one that I disliked. I don't want to waste my time on bad books, so you know what? I'm doing it my way. What is a book that I like that other people don't like? Well, it's Waiting by Ha Jin. Because, why not? But anyway, Ha Jin, I don't have the book with me. I borrowed it from the library. I'm trying to get my own copy for really cheap. I have a link to, I'm hunting down a copy on Thrift Books, so yay. But, Anchovy. I'm thinking of the pizza. But, Waiting is... It's a book about a surgeon or a doctor. It's a Chinese book about a surgeon who keeps going back to his village in the summer to divorce his wife in order to build a new life with the person he truly loves, and then things happen. It has terrible ratings on Goodreads, and I didn't want to do Eileen or The Dinner because I talked about those two books to death. But then I found out about this book, and I read it, and I absolutely loved it, and then I went to go see it on Goodreads, and it has a whole star lower than what I personally rated it. I rated it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was an absolutely glorious book, but it has a 3.48 average on Goodreads. I have no idea why people think it that way. I seriously cannot understand. It's brilliantly written. It's beautiful writing. It has very deep characters. Maybe it's because the characters are unlikable. Just because a character is unlikable doesn't mean it's very well written and they can't be a good character. I need to make a whole video about that. But, Waiting, I cannot recommend it enough. Ha Jin, I'm going to check out more from this guy, but it's just phenomenal. What else do I have to say? Okay. Number 10, Stuffed Crust. A work that grabbed your attention at first sight. Just get back in there. my journal that I have right here is so little, but it just, like, hits my computer. I don't know. I'm so desperate for comedy. But a work that grabbed your attention at first sight. I decided to get 2 books. Salman Rushdie's Midnight's Children and Cutting for Stone by Abraham Verghese. You guys know my love for Midnight's Children. I think it's one of the greatest books of all time. In fact, it's another book that I think I'm going to be bumping up into a 5 out of 5 stars soon. And I'm probably going to reread this sometime in like 2018, I think. I don't want to read it. Because I read it so late in 2016, I don't want to reread it so early. But I love this book. I think it's fantastic. And then, but you guys don't know my thoughts really on Cutting for Stone unless you saw my Goodreads review, which has over 15 likes, I think. So, thank you guys for liking my review. But anyway, Cutting for Stone, it's about these, it's in the perspective of Marion Stone, who has a twin brother named Shiva Stone, and their father abandons them at birth after their mother dies with 2 other doctors, and they grow up to love, like, the art of medical school and, like, medicine and surgery. And it's very interesting, very unique. And the reason why I put these 2 side by side is because the only problem that I have with this book is that in the beginning, it was way too similar to this book, which this book came first. It didn't go past, like, a first-person perspective, first being told in a third-person perspective, and then gradually goes towards a first-person perspective. Like, the reason why it's told that way is the same in both books, because the narrator hasn't been born yet. I don't think that was a coincidence, guys. I think Verghese has a major influence on has Salman Rushdie as a major influence, but I don't know. That's probably me. Salman Rushdie, amazing. Abraham Perhez, amazing. I'd love to see another novel from this guy. I'm gonna read more of Salman Rushdie later, so yeah. Best of the best. What is your favorite kind of pizza? So this is actually a pizza question. There's no more books question. That's all the books question, I think. Unless if I'm hallucinating and he's like, what's your favorite kind of pizza book? What's your favorite pizza cookbook? Like the other one where I got mixed up with. But, what's my favorite kind of pizza? Meat lovers. Because I'm the human carnivore. Yeah. And then 12, pizza party. Who do you tag? That is perfect, Josh. You know what? Bravo, you have your way with words. I don't tag anybody directly. I think I may just tag Kate over a Kate file just because she tagged me and everything. So I have another tag to do with her, but Josh took all the good ones. I could tag like Peter over at Peter Likes Books, but he got Steve Donahue. He got the restricted section. He didn't get Erica, I think. No, he didn't get Erica, but like still, yeah, Steve and Meg and Sue. Really? You're gonna do that? No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Josh. But anyway, that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed my first video in 2 weeks. Comment down below what you guys thought of the video. And I'm going to be making a lot more videos this week. Just to catch up with you guys on what I've been doing. I'm gonna be doing I'm going to be doing another book haul because I got a lot of books recently, and also a non-bookish video. Is it backward? No. You have been warned. I'm Mega Man Chief Fan, and I'll see you later, guys.